My golf game's horrible and I feel totally out of place at the Floridian. I'm more of a top golf, goonie golf kind of guy. I quit. Quit while you're ahead. I actually first met Ken when his wife called me to take him on a charter. I spent a day on the water with him and got to know him. Realized, you know, who he was, what he did. Was kind of intrigued by his story, you know, being a PGA golfer and the history that he has. So many people that golf fish, so it just seemed like a, you know, a natural thing. And come to find out how much he loved fishing, that was the big thing. You know, the guy had such a passion for fishing that, you know, we hit it off quickly.
I already had my eyes closed when the ball was going in the hole. That was an unbelievable shot. I grew up in a small town just south of Little Rock, Arkansas, a town called Arkadelphia, Arkansas, 8 to 10,000 in population. 9-hole golf course attached to that little town, and that's where I got started playing golf. My dad was a weekend golfer, and I was a kid that played all sports, baseball, football, basketball, and just nibbled a little bit into golf. And now look at us, all these years later, I've made it out of profession. So that's where we started, and is where we are now. We moved over into Sewell's Point, and my wife knows I love to fish. And she's like, well, I gotta get you a couple trips with some guides, and let's see if we can't get you some information on how to fish and what to fish for around here. So George was one of the guys that my wife reached out to, and that's what I'm trying to do now, is just learn, you know, and the knowledge that he has around this intercoastal area, around this Stewart area. It's off the charts, you know, and the tides, the color of the water, you know, the bait to use, when to do it this, when to do that, you know, how to tie a certain knot. Those things like that's what I try to learn. You know, growing up, my dad was a bass fishing guide in lakes in Arkansas, and obviously I know a lot of freshwater, but I do not know anything about saltwater, and I live on the water. So meeting George was a huge help for me, and the knowledge he has is unbelievable.
Floridian is a private club out in Palm City, west of where I live, and it sits on the St. Lucie River. It's a beautiful course. It's a private course currently owned by Jim Crane, the owner of the Houston Astros. It's very secluded, it's very private. There's not a lot of people out there. Even during the busy times, there's not a lot of people playing. Jordan plays there, you know, ex-presidents play there, so.
When I knew George and you guys were talking to me about shooting this show, I did send him a message, said, hey, just to let you know, President 44 is going to be on property. And he immediately said, wow. But and we did get a chance to see, you know, President Obama out there, and just said hi as he passed by, and just respect what he had to do. He's out there playing golf with his friends. There's no reason to try to get an autograph or try to get a picture. But you know, that's what happens, you know, out at our course. You know, just let the celebrities do their thing, and just treat them like an everyday person, and they'll treat you the same way.
In Florida, there's so many different golf courses, so many ponds. You hear stories of giant bass coming off of them, but you can't get on them. You know, you're gonna get hit with a trespass warrant. So there's no getting out there at the Floridian unless you know somebody. So honestly, I hate to say it, but I was almost more excited for the bass fishing than the golf, you know, to get out there and to get on those ponds and catch a couple bass. It was something I was looking forward to. Oh, we both got it at the same time.
Are you still hitting yours?
We got it. Double up.
I got a little one.
Oh, how fun. Bass fishing is fun to me. It's different when you're throwing. We were throwing the Missouri topwaters. It's so visual that it doesn't matter if the bass is this big or, you know, a 5-pounder. To me, it's just so much fun. You're firing in and a lot of vegetation, and you can sometimes almost see them come up behind it, wake up behind it, and eat the plug. I just get a kick out of bass fishing.
So let's grab you like something to warm up with. It's kind of what we usually
My warm up?
Just a warm up club, or just a smaller. We don't want to hit drivers first off right off the bat, but we try to pick a target when you're out here warming up. If it's that flag or kind of whatever.
Just that way?
Yeah, just that way. You don't want to hit in that whole area.
Ken, if I get it anywhere in between that 100 yards, it's a good day.
So he's gonna criticize me on this fishing. I'm gonna have to criticize him a
exactly.
little
You
bit.
better
Right?
get it all in today.
I gotta get it to him.
Get it all in today.
So I just want to go to that flag right there, and it's probably 60 yards. So all I'm trying to do, I'm not trying to take a big swing or anything. It's just more of a rotation thing, and just try to follow through. I want to keep that club face square on takeaway and at impact. So it's just really just following through.
Oh my God. That was pretty good. That was good, right?
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, that's what you're shooting for.
How close are you right there?
Probably 3 inches, 4 inches. So that's all you're doing, just trying to get in the rotation. And see how I'm just taking it back half and half. This is a short warm-up follow through.
The very first ball he hit was probably 3 inches from the hole when we went to the driving range there. I was like, oh my God, it's gonna get even worse for me here. But it was consistency, consistency, consistency. And that's really what golf is, apparently, is that repetition, doing the same thing over and over and over again and not changing. Let's go inside. The course is so nice, everything is so beautiful, you know, and I was just, the funny thing was, we went to the driving range first, and I was hitting some balls, and I was like, wow, man, I can actually kind of hit the ball. I'm not trying hard, you know, I'm connecting. You know, obviously a couple would go awry, but for the most part, I felt pretty good about it. But then I get out to the first tee, I tee up, and it's shank, complete shank. And from there on out, didn't get much better. The sun shined on me for one moment, and thank God the camera was watching. The drone was overhead. I felt it, you know, I stepped up to that ball. I knew the speed of the greens, and I aimed for the spot he told me, and I hit the ball. And the funny thing is, as soon as I hit it, he goes, oh, that looks good, that might be going in. And I was like, dude, we're like, I don't know, 100 feet away? Okay, maybe 30 feet away, maybe 20. But he knew pretty quickly that it was going in. Woo! How long was that? It just rolled. It was my day. The hole seemed this big.
about every time I'm going to the Floridian, which is a wonderful facility that we have, my fishing rods are either in the boat or they're in my truck and they're in the golf cart riding around with me because, you know, why not? If you hit a ball over by the water and you're like, well, I should just take a couple casts, right? So I do that and obviously catch a 5-pound bass and you're like, well, I don't know if I'm gonna play the rest of the day. I might just fish the rest of the day. So.
Definitely in the fishing community as a guide, I've been a guide for 15 years, and you meet a lot of cool people. And especially being in this area, the Stewart area, it's pretty popular, and having the Floridian out there, and there's a lot of, you know, sports people that come to the area. You just have the opportunity to take them fishing and get to know these people, and that's really cool. I mean, that's probably one of the coolest parts of my job, to have somebody of Ken's caliber, a PGA player, on the boat. It's an honor for me. That is awesome. Knock that thing. Usually fish plugs off your wall too, or live bait?
Plug.
He definitely wanted that, man. They're aggressive in here, especially this time of the morning.
He almost swallowed the whole damn thing. Tried to anyway.
Careful, we don't need messing up the money makers.
I know.
Tournament coming up this weekend. Nice, good job.
Yeah.
I think catching jacks is like going to the driving range. You know, you're getting your practice in, and everything's got to be right. You know, you want to hit it the same way every time. You want to cast it the same way. You want to be prepared for that, you know, that big snook bite. But utilize it as practice.
Jack.
Oh yeah. God, he wanted that plug. Woo. A tackle tester there. Tackle tester. I think there's no sense in excelling in anything unless you're willing to share it with others. What would be the point of me being a good fisherman if I didn't share it, if I kept it all to myself, if I didn't teach others? I'm gonna die with that knowledge? What good is that? You know, what good is it that can be an excellent golfer and never pass it on?
So, catching a tarpon, if one hits it, what do you do?
So really, the most important thing in the beginning is just keep an extra high tip, like accentuated high, like straight up in the air. And all you're thinking in the beginning is, when's he gonna jump? Every time he jumps, just completely drop it to him.
Okay.
He hits the water, raises straight back up. Completely down to him every time he comes up. Really in the beginning, all you're worried about is every time, boom,
okay,
boom. God, he just boiled on it right there. Come on. So you gotta think, this is just a big funnel where all the bait's coming through on the incoming tide. And they're just sitting out here milling around, picking off the mullet as they come through. Ken is a very patient person, and you can see that on the golf course, but you can also see it with the fishing as well. In tarpon fishing, you have to be extremely patient. The bites can be few and far between, and there's a lot of time that goes by where you don't get the bite. And you know, just to be able to sit there and wait it out, he was happy to do that. And that's what you gotta do to be a successful tarpon fisherman.
Come on, explode on that thing.
you're tarpon fishing today, we've got the baits out the back, and this is a perfect opportunity to be utilizing circle hooks. I love circle hooks when we're tarpon fishing. We're gonna use a nice big hook. This is a 9/0 trocar. This is surgically sharpened, this is razor sharp, and this is exactly what you want when you're tarpon fishing. So big 9/0 hook, we're gonna use 8 to 10 inch mullet for these big tarpon that are sitting in here. We're gonna hook these mullet into the mouth, up through the nostrils, and let them free swim in the current. Tarpon or ambush feeders are gonna feed from below. Mullet like to stay on top, and what's gonna happen is probably is just gonna explode on it. What happens is we have these reels that are in gear, meaning the drag's engaged. You know, so often when you're tarpon fishing, they have such strong, hard mouths, bony mouths. It's so hard to get a hook penetration. This usually finds the corner of his mouth or the top lip and does a great job of keeping them stuck. If you're gonna be tarpon fishing, make sure you check out trocar circle hooks. It's interesting when you have somebody like Ken, and he's so good at something that he does, and then the fishing is his passion. So for us to get together, to him to share his knowledge with me, and I'm getting pointers from him, and at the same time, he sees the value in my information that I share with him, and that's that give or take in any relationship that I think makes it successful. You always want to be learning, and to surround yourself with successful, smart, talented people that are willing to share their knowledge. That's what I love. That's what I love about this job, is to have those opportunities to learn from some of the best people at what they do. And at the same time, I'm humbled that they want knowledge from me as well. There he is. Tip up high. Is it a spoon? Yes, it is. It's a big one. Real, Ken. Tip up high. He jumps, bow to him. When he jumps, bow to him. Go forward, Ken. You bow to him. Oh! Ken, when he jumps, you bow to him, okay?
Okay.
Tip up high, bow to him, Ah! Real, Ken. Watch the front of the boat. He's gonna go around. Ken, you gotta go around just watch the front of the boat. You gotta go around the front. Watch the trolling motor. Just stay down for a minute. Just stay down. That is a big fish right there. Not too tight, Ken.
Okay. God, how high that sucker jumped.
That thing jumped 10 feet in the air.
Holy cow.
Watch that sign.
Do I just need to keep
You
reeling
know what
at
he's
him?
gonna do.
He's coming up.
Yeah, Ken, high tip. Drop the rod tip. Yep. Extra high when he's close to you, Ken, because there's no stretch. He's right next to you. Wow. That is a big fish. He's right there. Extra bend in the rod, Ken. High, so you can, one way or the other, so when he jumps, you can give it to him. He's right next to you. You can't really, there it went. He was pretty much caught. He was right at the leader. Good job.
Man, how big was that?
That was a big fish. That was a big old shiner.
Golly.
Wow.
I want to get that sucker in. That was awesome though. How about that? You see how high that sucker jumped one time? That's what it's all about. Go fishing with George Gozdz. He's the man, you know that. Golly.
A day on the water fishing with somebody, or a day playing a round of golf is very similar. You're together, you're out having fun. There's that camaraderie, but there's that ability to also to have those talks when needed, and there's a lot of similarities there. So I think that's why you find a lot of golfers that love fishing and a lot of fishermen that love golfing. You ever even jumped a tarpon before?
Never have.
Really?
The experience that we just had right there was unbelievable. How high that thing came out of the water.
Yeah. Can you try to explain that to people that have never caught one before? Just that power?
That's the...
I mean, right here, we're right from the, stone's throw from this catwalk, and these giant fish are sitting in here feeding. And this is really just a timing thing, it just happens to coincide with some bait coming through, and They just want to be in here right now. And
That's what the waiting's all about right there. If it's a 1 hour, 30 minutes, or 2 hours, wait for that one bite.
oh yeah,
And see that one jump, it's just insane. That rush is unbelievable.
everything's got to fall just into place for it to work.
It all
Sometimes
works.
it works, and that's what
right.
keeps you coming back.
No question. On both aspects, fishing and golf for sure.
My golf game sucks. Terrible. It's terrible. It's gonna be a long day. An A wedge? An A wedge is somewhere between it's right before a B wedge.